Yeah. So here, so you first create, just click on this add task. It will create registration, okay, or whatever you want to call it. Once we have registration, within this we will create user stories, tasks, and so on and so forth. So you have this subtask option. Okay.
Okay.
Basically, we are saying that registration is one journey. In order to implement this, these are the user stories which I need to complete in order to fully deliver this journey.
Mhm.
So you can say, let's say integration with IAM, and then you can say forget password. Okay. Then one will be registration itself.
You are entering enter after typing each one, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So let's say we have these three. One is registration, one is forget password, integration with IAM. If there is any additional functionality, so when you look at a particular customer journey, look from end-to-end perspective. And so that your at the high level becomes epic. And in order to break it down in terms of user stories, you see what all things are needed. For example, whenever you register at any site, I'm sure when you register at the Teachable, that student portal, you must have received some email, right? Saying that this is your email and so on and so forth
Yeah.
when you got access to this course. So think everything which should be done. So here also we will have something called email notification. Now these are your user story. If I click on one, then it will take me to that particular. So here if you see this is integration IAM. Now I
Mhm.
can say as a user, and I have just added it to show you that there will be backend component which you will have to look at. So when you write a user story, it's not necessarily that you are going to always have a user story for IAM. This will be
Mhm.
part of your any existing user story like registration. But right now, as we are looking at, try to break down the entire journey into smaller components. Okay. So you can say as a user, I should be able to register in order to access the course. Let's use our course as an example. Now you might have gone through those videos which are on the student portal. Now, if you look at this user story, this particular statement, it is highlighting the functionality, the end game, the output which should be there. And then it is highlighting the value which this person is going to get. So objective is not registration. Objective is accessing the course, isn't it?
Yes.
So when you write your user story, A, they should be simple and follow the SMART principle always. So what is SMART? SMART is specific. Then we have M mean measurable, actionable, or rather sometimes it is also called in terms of business analysis, achievable. And then you say relevant. So whatever you're trying to do, it is relevant for that. And then testable. So now if you look at this user story here, it is very specific, right? It is saying one specific thing. It's not giving you a whole story. It is just giving you one specific thing. And then how should you measure it? So we can measure it, right? We can see how can we even achieve it. So registration is simple. If a person can register, it means that it is measurable. Then achievable reflects to the same point. Testable is when you actually build the application and test it. So when a person registers on a website, or if you write any user story, and if that functionality cannot be tested, there is no way you can know if this was actually done, then you should not write that user story. Okay. For example, if there is something technical, something is happening in some logs, and as part of your project, now technically you can always validate these things, but I'm just taking it as an example. So when I'm accessing Asana will have many logs. Now within those logs, they might be entering all kind of information. Now, if I cannot test it, then there is no point in writing that user story. So
Correct.
always your user story should be something which your tester can pick and test. It's a very important point and always pay attention. So this will become your user story. Then you should have acceptance criteria. Okay. Now acceptance criteria is simply telling the developer and tester how they are going to develop or test. So your testers will read the user story, will read and understand it, but they are going to use acceptance criteria to test or build for developers. So for example, I could say registration is successful. So now what your tester is going to do, they will go to the website, they will try to register, and they will check if the flow is end-to-end working. Okay, if they are getting any error anywhere, or let's say there's nothing on the screen, but then they cannot log in using the same user ID password. All those things will be part of their test cases. Harsha, you might have done this because I
Yes,
think
sir.
you had, isn't it?
Yes, yes, I will.
So when you're writing acceptance criteria, think all the elements which are going to help you with validating the user story. And in the next lecture, I will also tell you additional ways of how acceptance criteria can be written. What we are trying to do right now, this is called TDD, test driven development. So in interviews, they might ask you, what is a TDD based user story, or what is the difference between TDD and BDD? BDD is behavior driven development. So we'll come to that later. First, let's take this step by step. So then you can add all the point that I should be able to, registration is successful, user is able to enter the user ID and password. Remember these fields, there will be fields for username and password. And if you don't specify, you cannot assume that, these fields will be working. So tester is going to enter the user ID, enter the password, enter the validation format which your user story is going to specify. So maybe you can say password should only select, only allow alphanumeral. So alphabets and numbers. You can also specify. This line is self-explanatory. It means it shouldn't allow special characters, but you can specify that, and that is all right. So you can say special characters are not allowed in username or password. Then you can also specify. Again, I'm just combining all the acceptance criteria, but as you write, let me just save it. So now if I select here, and you will see all these user stories. So you can have all these under different user stories. But point is, as you think about it, you can see that we are coming up with more and more acceptance criteria, right? First, we thought only registration. Then we have thought about character. Now we can have character limits also, isn't it? So you have to specify how long your username can be. It cannot be infinite. isn't it? So you can say your username should be only up to 20 character. So then your developer will code and put a limit that username field should not be longer than 20 characters. Your password should be minimum 8 characters and maximum length 20 characters. So think about all those things. And how do you think if you don't know anything? Because you guys are just starting out as business analysts. Whatever domain or whatever client you are working for, let's say you are working for a bank, go to any bank, open their website, and try to do that same functionality. And that's how you learn. Yeah, Shubhanshu, go ahead.
So in the acceptance criteria, like we need to write the acceptance criteria after writing the user story. No? Like so, first as a BA, we have
That's
to
right.
write a user story. Like then after discussion with the developers, then we have to write the acceptance criteria.
See, developers can I mean, I always recommend that you should engage developers as soon as possible.
Okay.
But acceptance criteria is your responsibility. You are not necessarily going to refer to developers. For example, let's say as we are talking about registration, and let's say you are working for a bank, you can see this screen, right?
Hmm.
So you don't know, let's say this is your first project and you have never worked on this. So what you can do, you have to do research. And how do you do research? You can go to any website of that domain, and that will tell you how people are implementing it in the market. So let's say you are working for a banking client now, you want to do this for some other company for your client. So go to some site. So now if you look at this page, you know, for registration, they are first asking for some kind of customer ID, isn't it? There is a eye icon here. When you click, it is providing you some information. And that's what you will do as a BA. This is research. When you click on this, it will it will take you to some other screen. So
Akhil,
now, yeah,
where you are clicking, I cannot see. I mean, we are able to see Asana only.
okay. I was in a different page altogether. Let me start it from the beginning. Somehow it is not responding. Yeah, let me reshare it. Can you see it now?
Yes, I can see.
Oh
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So let's say in this case, we are working for a banking project. It could be insurance, it could be real estate, it could be media, it could be entertainment, it could be operation, anything, any sector, any process. Don't worry about that. You just have to find out a relevant company. This is called market research. That's what you will do as a BA. So let's say we are working on registration, isn't it? So what we do, we need to find out what happens in registration. So when I click on this, so again, I have opened Access Bank, but let's say you are working for American client, then you should always open or rather use the company or a product from relevant market. So if you work for Bank of America, you can use some other bank which is operating in US market. Go to their website and then use that same product, or at least try to use that product, because you won't have full access. So you will struggle. But this will become a very good point. In fact, in requirement gathering, we call it document analysis. So you're working with a website, but this is what we call document analysis. Just give me a minute. Somebody is at my door. Okay.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So have you completed the course? Have you
No,
gone through
no,
all the videos or not?
no, not yet, Shivanshu, because
Yeah,
for me, the year
which you have
started,
completed.
means there is a lot of work for me as of now. And
Okay.
also, 25th is my hike cycle. So people are
Oh,
expecting me to come to office
oh.
maximum time, as there is
Hmm.
a client visits after that. So I was a bit slow in completing this.
Okay. So like you are in like Bangalore or
I'm
Hyderabad.
back.
Hyderabad? Okay.
Okay, okay. Hi, Akhil. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no worries. Go ahead. You should have discussions like this. You should often talk to
Yeah,
each other.
yeah, I can help him if he completes finishly. I can see and refer him also if
Yeah,
he is full fledged. So we can do that in future.
yeah.
Yeah,
All right. So
yeah,
now coming back to requirement gathering. So that's how you gather requirements. Your first point, a lot of time will be requirement analysis. I mean, or rather, document analysis. And as part of document analysis, depending upon the nature of the product, you might go to a website or you just might go to some document, some user manual. So in this case, this is a good starting point. So if now you see this particular feature, which is registration journey for a bank, we can use it to get a lot of information, isn't it?
yeah,
So now when you do your market research, you have to click on anything which you can click on a website. Okay. You have to look at everything. Just keep making note that, okay, step one, I'm coming to this page. They're asking me for customer ID. There is an eye icon which is providing information. There is a customer ID link. When I click on that, it takes me to a different page. And that's how you start designing your customer journeys. Okay. So now I'm sure if I just enter random something, you see you are getting this error, right? At least 9 characters used. Now somebody working for Access as a BA must have written this in their requirements. So your acceptance criteria here, let's say registration, we'll go to registration. So your acceptance criteria here will be something like minimum 9 characters are
yeah.
required for customer ID. Okay, again, there will be more, but just to highlight that this at least 9 characters needed. You
Yeah,
need to
mainly
say
negative scenarios will be more negative testing. Yeah.
exactly. But as a BA, you need to focus on the requirement part, isn't it?
Yes, positive.
So
I mean,
you
of
should say, you should, a lot of time companies will ask you, at least when we started at that time, we will specifically, we were responsible for giving the messages also. So we will say, if entered customer ID is less than 9 character, throw error message, at least 9 character needed. And then you can put that message itself. Now, there are two ways how companies operate here. One is the messages which you see, they are not written by business analyst. A lot of time they come from your customer, that is operations, marketing team. So you will reach out to them that I have these scenarios. And for these, I need to show certain error messages to the customer. And then they will provide you. So you don't own the copy. So what you see on this website, when somebody says copy, they are referring to this content which is shown here. Okay.
okay. So
So
if we want to show the messages through the document to our developers or testers, then how can they get it? I mean, that will be given by them, or we need to.
You are going to do everything. So you will, let's say, I did a project where marketing team was providing all these messages.
Okay.
So I will send a spreadsheet to them, giving them, let's say, 10 conditions. If customer ID is not right, if defect is not right, or sorry, password is not right, and so on and so forth. They will update that sheet with the messages. They will send it back to me. Then I will go ahead and upload that in a tool which you are using for project management. So here, if you see, you can attach links and attach documents. So there you can simply say, I will add one message for error messages, refer to attachment or attached documents. If you have very few, then you can just copy paste that message itself.
Yeah.
But you will update your user story. If it is not there in user story, it doesn't exist.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important to make sure that you are capturing all the details and not just the flow. And you start with document analysis, you will write these user stories, then you will have a discussion among yourself, isn't it? You will set up a call that I have written these 10 user stories. These are the 10 messages I got from the marketing team. So you will have marketing, you will have operations or any other stakeholders. And they will share their feedback. Once you get a go ahead, which is kind of approval, sign off on your user stories, then you can pass it on to your developers for development.
Okay.
Now, so now tell me, are you guys ready for a small exercise? Because right now you're just learning, you're not training. Training is when you do it yourself.
Yeah.
So, Vanshu, what about you?
Yes, sir. Sure.
So, I'm putting this link, or rather, I will give you this. I mean, I don't need to because all of you should have Axis Bank here. Yeah. And you have to go to this website.
One more, my small question is,
Yeah.
so, so for the user story project, I have opted the same product, that is TLP, like which I have told you in the previous class.
It's
So
very good, actually.
that is I'm showing in my CV as a project. So I think it will be beneficial for me, like for the interview part, like if I'm
That's
writing
very
a
good. And
user
we will
story.
work on that part. Don't worry.
Okay.
I must say that's a right decision you have made.
Okay.
Okay. But we'll come to that.
Sure.
Idea is that you should train your brain to think like a business analyst. Okay. So let's pick a journey which is, I would say, a bit complex, but at the same time, you can move forward in that journey. Because in registration, you saw that it is just asking for customer ID. You won't have customer ID, right? So chances are you won't be able to go through many pages. So let's use this one. I'm putting this link here. I will create a breakout room, which means you and Harsha will be part of that group. You have to write requirements for this particular journey.
Okay.
And you don't have to worry about the format. You don't have to worry about any other thing at this stage. You just have to focus on information gathering. Okay.
Okay.
So let's say this is a manual process. Now you are going to convert to a digital process for some other bank, some other company. Okay. So you come here, I have given the link, click on all the buttons, all the links you can see what information is being displayed here, in what format it is being displayed here, how user can move forward. Okay, basically we are going to design this journey. Okay, any questions?
Okay.
And you just have to, at this stage, I will say, create bullet points,
Hmm.
5, 10, whatever you can come up with. And you don't have to limit it to yourself, rather to this web page or site. If you have any idea, for example, you think maybe we can do this better. Let's build this feature which can use AI or machine learning. So use your, I would say, common sense, industry knowledge, experience, and let's come up with certain features. Okay.
Okay.
So I will put you in the breakout room. Should I go ahead? Any questions you guys want to ask?
So basically, you are given the SAP page, so we need to write the requirements for it. I mean, all the possible scenarios.
All
This is
the
what
possible scenarios, all the things you can think
do. Okay.
you can do with this. Okay. So see, this is about investment, right? That SIP page. Now there you can invest in gold, you can invest in debt fund, equity fund, right? There are
Yes.
many investment options. How you can invest?
Hmm.
So you can invest maybe through ATM, through debit card. I mean, in terms of making that payment,
Yeah.
right? So think all the scenarios and then try to come up with certain points. And later we will translate them into requirements, wireframe, and so on and so forth, based upon the use case. That is, do we even need to do something for that? But
Hmm.
first, this will basically help us in thinking like a bee, how you will work in a real world.
Sure.
Okay?
So, hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, can you repeat once more, like, what is the, I think, like, on what topic we have to need the write a topic. So there are two links. One is for internet banking, one is for SIP investment. So
Start with the last one. Okay,
last, that is SIP investment plan, right?
that's right. Yes.
Okay. So we to point from starting, like, from the login, or like we have to like write a points for some specific feature.
See, that's a very big component of being a business analyst.
Hmm.
You start with a clean slate and then you present it to your stakeholders and they will share their feedback. So, who is the stakeholder? I'm the stakeholder.
Hmm.
So, you do whatever you can. So, you and Harsha will work together on this project.
Okay.
Whatever you guys think is the right way.
Hmm.
And then you try to sell me
Okay.
your concept that this is what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
And I may have counter questions, I may agree. And based on that, we will further refine it. So over a course of next, I will say, few days, you will continue to work on this project
Hmm.
and you
Yeah,
will
it is
write
good.
user stories and create epics and
Sure.
user
And
stories.
also I can, yeah, as you shown in Asana, so creation of subtask, there itself we can create the subtask and we can continue.
Exactly.
Okay,
This,
got it.
and we will do this exercise for 2, 3 different subjects, and I will not tell you what I'm going to do. It has to be
Okay.
random. Only then you will be capable of coming up with certain solution in real time.
Okay.
Okay.
And one thing, Akhil, can you go to Asana and so whatever you created for registration, it is like a epic, right? So you created one epic and you started creating subtasks to that epic and you started creating the user story and acceptance criteria. This is what exactly, right?
So this is your epic. This is what
Hmm.
you see registration.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Now I can add all these details here for epics. And
Hmm.
then within epic, I will have these user stories.
Okay.
Now I can
For
go
each
ahead
user story, yeah. Sorry.
and within these user stories also I can create a task. For example, I can say, so for example, AWS offers a service which you can use for authentication. Okay. So I can create a subtask here. So this is usually done by developers. So you don't have to go at that level. You focus on this part and then the user story below that. And then we will go
Okay.
through rest of the work later.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Will do.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else?
Hmm.
Good. So I will create breakout rooms. Okay.
Okay. Actually, nowadays people are using Asana, I think, for the project management, like product teams more, I think.
Yes.
Okay. Got it.
So breakout room.
That itself covers the user stories part and also the
Yeah,
this
I
part,
mean,
document
I will
analysis.
say Jira is still probably more widely used, but yes. So we are going to use multiple tools here. Idea is to give you flavor of different setups.
Yeah, great,
So
great.
this is Asana. Later we will work in Jira also. And there is
Sure.
one more tool which is now gaining traction that is called ClickUp or something. So
GitHub.
I was just exploring it. So I
Mhm.
will also use that one. So you will have exposure to two, three kind of setups.
Usually, actually, GitHub developers usually push the code and
No, no, not GitHub. There's ClickUp or something like that.
okay, okay, got it.
And the
So
one more Notion is also the same as the Asana and Jira, or it's a
see,
different?
Notion is more like OneNote or Evernote. These are the
Mhm.
simpler products which were created.
Okay.
Now they are trying to present Notion as a project management tool also.
Okay.
Hmm.
But Notion, I mean, for complex projects may get messy. And as you guys are just starting out BA and project management, we will stick to the tools which will provide you coverage for, I will say, good 70-80% market.
Yeah.
But of course, if you want to explore additional tools like Notion or any other for that matter, I will say feel free. But two, three tools which we will use, I will say that will provide you good 70-80% coverage in terms of market usage.
Hmm.
So Atlassian's Jira, I don't have the market share and those numbers right now, but I think whatever I have seen, it is used at most of the IT companies, banks, insurance, captive
Hmm.
units.
Even we are using Jira.
Yeah, so it is very popular. After that, I will say Asana, which is very popular at some of the product companies. Again, I'm not sure, but I have heard that Google is, for example, using Asana.
Hmm.
So there are a lot of large product companies which are using Asana. So if you just use or rather know these two tools, you are pretty much covered because you are pretty much covered, and then you just need to apply same knowledge to any other tool you come across. So if you understand this is how I need to write requirements, this is how I need to organize my work, which is the primary objective of these tools, then you're good. I mean, if you were to given any other tool on planet Earth, you just need to understand the tool. And these are easy to use web-based tools, right? So it doesn't take a lot to learn them.
Akhil, how you created this project and also how you assigned these tasks to us?
Okay, so first let's finish this exercise and then we'll come to it.
Sure, sure, sure.
Okay,
No problem.
yeah. So I will create the breakout room and I'll be here and it will be for what, 5 minutes is okay or do you want more? 10 minutes? And don't worry about the session duration. We'll extend if needed, if you guys are available.
Okay.
So how much time you think will be enough for both of you to brainstorm, run
So five,
requirement workshop?
10 minutes. Like at 11:30, like I have to leave somewhere so that.
Okay.
uh,
So let's put it for 5 minutes then.
Okay.
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 All right. So you guys are So we are back. Let's give it a minute. I can't see Harsha yet.
So no, yeah, I got disconnected from the room, so can redirect me.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, Akhil. We started a few scenarios. Okay. Please tell us whether we approach in the right way or not.
Yeah. Have you taken any notes or?
Yeah, Shubhanshu took it as I
Yes, yes,
don't have
sir.
any handy.
We have
So we
written
got
around 5 or 6 points. So after
Let's
that,
do
I
one
got
thing. Let's
disconnected.
share that document. So Shubhanshu, if you can share your screen.
yeah.
So like we have written in on a notebook only, like as of now. So,
Okay. So it's all right. Next time when you do, you or Harsha or with anyone, if you guys are in any other groups,
hmm.
always take Word or Google Docs or whatever
Sure.
you
Okay.
feel, but it should be
Sure.
there on screen.
Okay.
Hmm.
No issue. So as of now, like we have written on the notebook so that we don't have a not that much time, and like my
It's all
internet
right.
is not
So
stable as of now. So
over a period of time, I will keep pushing you guys how you will be pushed in a real project.
Sure.
okay,
Got it.
sure.
So it's fine. So it's part of my, you can say, job to push you.
Hmm.
So for today, if you have done it with notebook, let's talk about your thinking process. I'm more interested in that.
Hmm.
Yeah. Shubhanshu, can you read out? I mean,
Yes.
maybe.
Okay. Like the first point is like we have written like click on the link so that user can navigate to the investment page, and
Mhm.
after that click on the SIP link, and the third point is click on login to invest so that user can navigate to the investment page for the login. After that, it is asking for credentials to login.
Mhm.
And in login, when the user puts a wrong password, like if the password is incorrect, like click on the forgot password.
Good.
And
Yeah,
we have to, and the next point is, so if the user puts a wrong password for 3 times, then the account is blocked for the next 24 hours.
that is also good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, of course, now we will continue, but I'll say if one person is having these notes, take a photo
Okay.
and share it with other. Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
And you continue, both of you continue to work on this. You have
Sure.
1 week
Sure.
and you
Yeah.
will have to write epics and user stories for this.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
And Shubhanshu, you continue with your previous project which you were doing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That
That
will
is a
help.
TLP, right?
Yeah, that will help you later when we will essentially work on your interview readiness and those
Okay.
things.
Okay.
Okay. But here, I'll say we made pretty good progress on this. I mean, so you guys are
Hmm.
now trying to, rather, you are integrating your knowledge
Hmm.
and learning with the exercises.
Yeah.
And Harsha, like if you allow, like we can invest around a 15-20 minutes daily on a video call, like to discuss these terms over the on any topic, on any product for the user stories. Like
Sure. Sure, Shubhanshu. Mornings I'm free till 12.
yeah, like you can give any time, like in the morning
Yeah.
or then late
Yeah,
night.
see, I would say try to work like you would do in a real project.
Okay.
Hmm.
So how real projects are operated, you will have a project management tool like this. Asana,
Hmm.
you can use this one here. You
Hmm.
already have invites and access to these
Hmm.
workspaces. And then if not possible every day, then at least maybe you can just have a call, let's say 2 times a week,
Hmm.
morning, evening, whenever you guys have time, 2 times, 3 times, based on your availability. But focus on that call, in that call on the agenda. It shouldn't become like a friendly chat
Hmm.
because then it loses the
Hmm.
significance, isn't it?
Correct.
Hmm.
So when you talk to each other in that call, you should talk as you will talk in a real project. That hey,
Okay.
hey Harsha, I'm working on this. This is what I have done. So you guys can play BA and stakeholder for each of you. So
Okay.
Shubhanshu, you can write requirement. Harsha, you can share feedback. Harsha can
Hmm.
write requirement. Subhanshu can share feedback.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's do one thing. First 2 to 3 days you start work, I'll start work. Later we can review both and let's need we can write something more.
Yeah. See, I won't say. See, the moment you say need to write something, then it becomes discretionary. You don't have a pressure to be right, isn't it?
Hmm.
Yeah.
So that's why I will say for logistical issues. When I say logistical issues, how often you meet and
Yeah.
what exactly you work, I will say that keep as discretionary. You can decide if I can talk to you every day or not, right? Because all of you have work, all of you have a busy life.
Hmm.
So it may or may not happen. But in terms of work, I will say don't keep that as discretionary because then you may or may not do. And work is all about when somebody is forcing you to do something against your will, when you are asking for more time, giving you less time, isn't it?
Yeah.
So when we are training ourselves, we should train ourselves in a way which is closer to actual working environment.
Yeah.
But it's all right. I will say take a week or two, sort out these things. It's not a problem. We still have quite a few sessions. We are going to have a lot of sessions.
Yeah.
So we have just started with Asana. Then we will work on Jira. So you will have enough opportunities. But point is, do it in a professional way. So
Okay.
sometimes you'll have those documents. I have uploaded those samples in student portal on interface analysis, right? So document because you've already gone through this portal, isn't it? You have already made some points. Now use that video, refer to that video, and use that sample and document interface analysis for this particular link. And once you are done, send it to me. So in the next call, when we have it, can you send both of your documents to me before that call?
Sure.
Interface analysis.
Okay. So you
Shamanchu.
mean to say this
Hello.
thing, like, whatever you are given in the chart, SAP related work.
So see, today you guys did some analysis, right?
Hmm.
Mm.
Continue with this analysis.
Okay.
Gather more points.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Then log into your student portal. There is a video on interface analysis.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you have already seen it or not, but if
I
not
haven't.
seen, then it's a 5-10 minutes video, not long.
Hmm.
Mm.
There, I have walked through a sample,
Mm.
understand what I'm doing, how I'm doing, and then do interface analysis for this piece of work which you are doing right now.
Okay.
Okay. So, like, we have to document this, for the next whole week, right?
See, as a BA,
Hmm.
the only thing which you do is interface analysis or some form of analysis for
Huh.
your project, right?
Yes.
So I will mark the due date as 20th.
Okay.
Today is 14th, right?
Hmm.
And I'll share my screen so you will see how we work in a project. So when we are working on a project, that's how people get their work. And it's one thing is always common, that is your timelines are always challenging. So I created this interface analysis here. I will assign it to Harsha. I will assign it to, I think I can only assign it to what? One person. Let me see. Okay, so I'll create one more. That will
Akhil,
be with you. Yeah.
Akhil, I lost in somewhere. I just joined through phone. You
Okay.
were explaining about the interface analysis in Asana. I mean, you are creating something, right? Doc. Like
So
Epic.
I'm creating a task for you.
Okay, got it.
So there will be interface analysis for you, and there will be interface analysis for Harsha. Okay.
Okay.
And you need to look at the student portal and
Hmm.
then create these
Mm.
documents and share it with me. Due date is 20th. Okay.
Sure.
So try to finish it. And this will be a good exercise for you guys. So I will
Sure.
say don't take it lightly.
Hmm.
Of course, idea is to focus on these exercises in the weekend session because you have access to videos that you can watch anytime you like, right? But here idea is to give you a flavor how things will work once you start working as a BA or a product manager for a project. So there somebody will create a task or you will create a task for yourself, assign it, then there will be certain priorities. So I mean, for now, I will say this is a high priority item. So you will have bunch of items, but you can't
Yeah.
do everything together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is where you will do prioritization. So some work will be high priority, which you will pick first, then medium, low, and so on, so forth. Okay. Now this
Yeah.
is Harsha's one. So here I will add dependency for Shubhanshu. What is dependencies? Basically, in a project, when you work, there are many dependencies. If those dependencies are not met, then you cannot complete your work. And it's a very important element of business analysis, project management. You have to be very clear about the dependencies you have and the things you need from other teams. So now I have added this dependencies for you, Harsha.
So it is like a dependency is work in the collaboration with someone.
I won't say collaboration because collaboration sounds very nice.
Okay.
In real time, it's a cutthroat competition.
Okay.
It's like you will come in a project call, basically. You will come with your guns blazing, saying that I have dependencies on Harsha and he is not delivering his part of the job, so I cannot do it. So if
Yeah.
you want me to answer, first go and check with Harsha.
Okay.
That's how it works here. So it's not collaboration, but it is something if you don't highlight. For example, let's say this week you didn't mention Harsha.
Hmm.
Your due date is 20th. We are
Hmm.
having a call on 17th, 18th, and you say, well, I only have 2 days and Harsha is yet to deliver his piece of the work, so I cannot do it. Then your
Okay.
project manager will be after your life that if you had a dependency, why you did not raise it earlier.
Oh.
So what I'm trying to say here that let's use these sessions to cover these kind of points where you need to know how these projects are actually run. Of course, your focus will remain business analysis and not project management or product management. But this will at least give you a flavor. You will be better ready when you start work.
Okay.
Mm.
So we will continue to use Asana and these projects for some time. And
Sure.
then we will switch to Jira. Okay.
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 Sure.
So for the same SIP page, we need to do interface analysis and also the document analysis.
That's right.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. And at this stage, I will say don't worry about the format or how
Hmm.
do you capture information. Idea is that you will always start raw. Your initial draft is never ready for full presentation.
Correct.
Once you have that draft ready, you send it across. Then in technology, there's a term walkthrough, right? So
Yeah.
we will have a walkthrough of those documents. So Shubhanshu, you will present your document, Harsha, you will present your document, and it's
Okay.
not a competition. So collaborate with each other. It's not like you can say that my document is better than Harsha, or Harsha can say mine is better than Shubhanshu.
Hmm.
Because in real world, there is no competition.
Correct.
In real world, you will work with 10 people. You will ask certain requirements. And in order to make it clearer, maybe you can say there are 4 pages. So Manshu, you can pick these two, and Harsha, you can pick these two. Right.
Mm.
Hmm.
Correct.
And then collaborate with each other. So this will also save some time, and you will be able to focus more on your analysis and research part instead of documentation part.
Mm.
But let's try to have these ready by Saturday and send it across to me.
Sure.
And whenever you guys have time, I will say whenever you have minimum 90 minutes, then we will set up a call.
Okay.
Okay. Because if the 60 minutes are extended, then we should be in a position where we can extend and cover additional material or additional discussion.
Hmm.
Mm. Yeah.
So Shubhanshu, you need to leave now.
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah. So that's fine. Don't worry. We'll have more sessions. We'll, for example, if there is a possibility, we can have 2 sessions next week. So that is not a
Okay.
problem. We can
Yeah.
talk.
And so, like, my one question is like is, for gap and impact analysis. So I think gap analysis. Hello.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So gap analysis is the difference between the current stage and the desired stage, right?
Yes.
And like where we have to use the impact analysis for that.
Okay. So let's say currently your company is using a particular system.
Uh,
All companies are existing companies, right? So you will have something through which they handle a process. It could be a system or it could be a manual process, right? So let me give you a very simple example of impact. Now, let's say you have 100 people who are doing data entry for a company. Can you hear me?
yes, yes.
Okay. Now, if you were to get some kind of digital application which can do that job which is done by 100 people,
Hmm.
so what will be the impact on those 100 people?
Okay.
They will be laid off, they will
Hmm.
be fired.
Okay.
So that is, in a nutshell, is your impact analysis. And that's what,
Okay.
when you, because as a BA, you are a change agent, isn't it? Isn't
Okay.
it? So you will always enable the change in your organization.
Okay.
You will
Um,
always work on improving the efficiency. And when I say efficiency, I don't mean that it will always result in
hmm.
layoffs or firing. But whenever you change the process, there are always people who are doing things with certain way, right?
Okay. Yes.
And then you need to transition and do in a new way, do things with
Hmm.
new process, new
Hmm.
systems. So then you work, for example, there's a very common practice that you will work with the training department. There's a separate training department in
Hmm.
at least most of the major large corporations.
Hmm.
So you will work with them, update the training manual. When the product is initially launched, you will train the users that that's how you use this particular application. So impact analysis is identifying process, system, people who are going to be impacted by your project, and how do you handle that impact.
Okay. And like it is what we are doing right now, like how it is impacting in the future.
Exactly.
Okay.
So for example, right now, let's say you are using laptop
Like
to join.
it can be positive or negative both. No? So,
Yes, see,
hmm.
any project will have an impact, and in general, our assumption is that this project is going to deliver positive value for the enterprise,
Hmm.
that is the company. So
Huh.
if company is, let's say, taking 2 days to handle a process, and it takes them $1 million per month
Hmm.
to handle that process. Now when you deliver that project, expectation is that these two KPIs will be affected. So your
Hmm.
cost of operation should go down, and time to process that system process, whatever it is, should
Hmm.
go down. So your primary customer is the company which is funding that project. And
Hmm.
usually the KPIs will be around time, money, conversion, those kind of things. Something which is relevant for the company. but the impact could be negative for the people who are working on ground for that, isn't it?
Yes.
So impact could be positive or negative, but when you analyze, you need to look at in the context of change. So
Okay.
if somebody is using laptop to do certain things, now they are going to use tablet. So you need to come up with a training manual so that that user can perform similarly from the tablet, using the tablet.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. Harsha, any questions you have?
No, Akhil.
Good. So let's start working on these things. I'm sure you'll get more questions, but I mean, the way you guys are coming along, I think maybe in a month you should be perfectly all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
And
Yeah.
both of you, I mean, Shubhanshu, you can continue to work on your resume, Naukri.com profile, and LinkedIn. And
Yes.
Harsha, whenever you are ready, just let me know.
Sure, sure, Akhil. Yeah, nothing
Yeah,
to worry. I will
yeah,
be
but
changing and will be in touch.
yeah, okay.
Sure.
All right then.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, yeah.
Thanks, Akhil.
Yeah, have a nice weekend.